Alright, caught me in the work, and I'm trying to get this stuff knocked out. We have here a lot of individuals who are asking, how am I going to find natural gold? And if it were that easy to find, gosh, everybody find it. So I'm going to jump right in here into my screenshot, and then I'm going to continue on a couple clips that I've put together. I'm going to display off here the screen, show you a little bit. This is a very short, but what do I know? Let's say 3 to 10 minute video. I can't tell you exactly. It'll be in the timeline. Take a look at it. Let's see what we got. I'm going to cut this real short and get right to the point. Alright, so now in this particular video, I want to show a really short and clear just synopsis of this. This video is going to mix in with another one, so please excuse me for the lack of my video editing talents. Right over in this area here, okay, you'll see this is actually a really great control scan that the user did here. But right in this area here, and also 90-degree view to that, you're going to see that there is a ferromagnetic target. That means a target of magnetic metal nature. With that being said, I'm going to turn around here and look at the background here. As I'm looking at this background, I went back to the user and I said, "Dear Mr. User, please tell me, where were you when you were taking these scans?" User says to me, "Well, I'm out on an active gold mining site and I'm looking for gold. So I see this red-blue area. I extracted it. It was a piece of iron, but there wasn't any gold." I said, "Go back again and ignore this red-blue area." And I then described to him, look at this light blue area. One of the biggest hammer was this one right here and this here. If you look very closely, you're going to see this is that very, very light see-through blue. I said, "This is the area what I happen to be interested in." He says, "Why is that?" I said, "Well, that's most likely gold dust." Turns around, digs into it, realizes after doing a small amount of pulverizing of the rock and panning that he had the gold dust in there. But I tell him, when you also get your scans, you need to be very sure you're looking at your scans properly, that you can see them better. So come over here on the right hand side. You'll see these different modifiers on the right hand side. Oh, and very important here, when you click on modifiers, that you do not use any filters. Please listen to me. I don't care what the manual says. I don't care. Don't use them. If you need to use the modifiers and you have your own reason for it, most likely it's because the scan wasn't done correctly. Don't use it. If you look and the scans are done properly, as you see here, they're all very, very correctly done, and there's no need to change it. Also, when you come in here, select this one here, which is the visualization screen. Scroll to the very bottom of the screen, the very bottom. Take this soil type surface and take this soil type cross section and change that. Do you see how it changed that background a little bit? I'm going to come over here and do the same thing over here. This is a function of the software that I'm saying, please set everything down to neutral so that it is not being affected. Now I have all three scans here. As this one here shows up with a lot of this blue, I'm a little cautious, but here was very interesting. This is a lot of blue, makes me wonder. But as I finished up talking to the customer here, and he had then mentioned to me that after he did as I had asked, and he dug a small portion and he pulverized it and he panned it, he had gold dust in his pan. He is in an active gold area. How much gold is in that area? It's very difficult to say. But as he looked through here, this is what he saw. I'm going to continue on the next one because I want to give a better example, a different example of what he shoved over. So I'll be right back. Alright, so now let's move on. I'm continuing on here with the same user here in the same area. Here he conducted the mineral scans, which was the rover C4. And as you can see here, this piece of metal is here. This is before he extracted the metal. After extracting the metal, he came from the other direction, and you see all of the signals became much, much stronger. Even though the signal is still here in the ground, the signal is still there because of the fact that you have the residue of the iron that was there. You still have the signature that it's there, even though it's not there anymore. It'll take about 4 to 6 months for the signal to completely dissipate. Alright, with that being said, let's move on. Here, we can see over here there is absolutely nothing to be seen. But over here, on this scan right here, okay, here is this. The user has gone and redone this, but this was the initial information that I received. It is right here. This is where he had done this, where the gold is actually sitting at its strongest concentrated point, which would be on this scan right around over here. But because in this scan the metal is still in the ground, the signature is so strong that he really needed to avoid that piece of iron in the ground in order to get a clear signal. With this being said, there are many possible signals here that are emitting. For example, here is one right here, and that's the only other one that I really visibly see except for right here. And this is one of those, I look at a couple of different areas. One, I'm looking at also in this respect, which I don't do very much and I don't highly recommend, is I look at the color. This is going to be one of my first indications because I'm using the color here to focus on a particular point, and then I'm looking at the values. This color, this light blue here, is the color I'm looking at. Because I have the stronger red here, I'm going to say I'm looking at a little bit deeper in the color, but this color, let's say right up in this area here, in this area here, is what I'm looking at. Let me move this arrow off to the side here. I'll move it down here. But I'm going to come back here. This comes directly off of the side. This is one of those examples where I'm saying here is a good indication. I'd like to have more from that particular user, but right here is one of those indications of what we are looking at in regards to signals. Okay, so let me go ahead and stop this one.